That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm happy to have each and every one of you. We appreciate you more than not. And it is 2022. Who knew? We made it all the way past 2021. Probably one of the longest years I've ever had. That's me. Not sure if that's you out there. But boy, it's been a crazy, crazy ride ever since 2020. I think 2020 will be forever a marked year. Some say it happened in 2019 late, but we were kind of to the news later than that. I think history will kind of let us know in the next couple of years when people really look back at this time period and they go, what the heck happened? But we got through 2021 alive, obviously, and the rest of us just want to stay alive through 2022 to 2023. I think that's the goal of most. A lot of scientists are starting to weigh in. They're starting to understand that this virus is going to be here for quite some time. They know is definitely here. They're not ready for it 100%. Although I did see a report in Israel that was a little bit upset because Israel already is on their fourth shot, literally. And I'm like, how come they get the fourth shot and we've only got basically two different shots? You got the first one in, early 2021, and then you had the second one mid 2021, which is more like the fall area. And we're barely not getting our third one, but the third one's supposed to come out in March. What's going on? How come Israel gets it and we don't? I don't understand that. Do you, Jesse? Speaking of which, we got Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning. No, I have no idea about any of that.
Yeah, it's odd. I'm like, why does Israel get the fourth one? Because they're ahead of I think, because that's according to the video that I saw of World News. And I was like, well, then what's wrong with us in the U.S.? What is it that we don't know? What is it that we need to know? And what are they keeping from us, right? Is it financials? They don't want to pay for the new one? Because if they're on the fourth one, we're barely on our second one of any dosage, technically. Even if you get two shots of one, you still get, like when you have that little card, if you got one or two because they have the date on it, right? Because they update you. So you know that, right? So if you forget, and I know some people have, I've asked them, and they go, well, I think I have this. I go, look at your card that you have, and you have it, and then you'll know which one you have, and then you know which one you want to be consistent with, or change it up because I think even they technically aren't telling people 100%. So I need you to know what you need to know because you need to know, huh? So I hope everybody knows eventually. So everybody needs to hope that they can do the right thing and that they can do the right thing not only for now, but ever, okay? Because a lot of people, honestly, are just kind of going by the way of saying, well, whatever is going to happen will happen. And I say, don't have that mentality. Have the mentality of, I know we can help each other now. Okay, we need to think financially. That's the next ball of whatever we're going to have to deal with in the next 3 months, maybe even 4 months. People aren't considering the financials. They need to because, businesses are going to start closing. I had this conversation yesterday, and I made some suggestions to a couple other people as well. I said, look, get ahead of this, downsize, economize, make sure you're good so you do not go out of business. If you have to move out of an area, then move out. Just get a smaller location. But keep your money going. Then eventually you can pay out things because nobody is staying open past 6. And I don't even know what's going on. Eric, Jesse, obviously, businesses are closing early, right? Have you been to a couple in this week or not really?
No, not this week. I haven't been going to too many places recently.
Okay, I have. Literally, I went to Best Buy yesterday. They closed at 6. And I was like, okay, I get it. Sundays, right? Sundays, I get, I guess. But I'm sorry, 7. They closed at 7, and I got there at 7:30 technically. But my point is, a lot of places are closing very early on a regular basis, and we're not even on a tiered thing anymore. And I'm wondering, why are we not on a tiered thing when we were as of last year, which prevented the disease from getting worse than it already has been, right? People aren't doing the math. But I saw another report which said that technically everything has spiked, as we knew it would, right, after Christmas and after Thanksgiving. It's spiking in a really big way, larger than it did the December prior in 2020. So I'm wondering why, and this question was asked to me of a very smart woman, how come we're not in a lockdown? Do you think a lockdown is going to come soon? And I said, I really don't know. At the rate that they're going, they kind of want us back to work immediately. So with the CDC, I don't even want to say it, minimizing it down from the normal 14-day quarantine. Now they basically reduced it to 5. So you know what people are going to do? They're going to be lazy about it. They're going to say, oh, I'm pretty much not over it, but I got to go back to work because now employers are going to demand it. They need to make money. People are going to get more sick. People are going to give it to the people that they want to keep safe. You know, their parents, their loved ones. Shoot, even sometimes the kids are going to give it, right? Because people don't know everything is adding up to create more problems for us with coronavirus. And I hate to say this, but it's going to happen in the next 3 months because I've already had this conversation with like several different people and they all agree and they're more smart than not. So I need everyone to know why you need to know, because you need to know what's going to happen in the next several weeks. And I'm hoping you guys are able to do what you need to do to stay safe, because these next couple of months are going to be very, very, very bad for all of us. Okay, they're going to be so bad, we're going to say, oh no, what do we do next? Now, I know some of you think, what? No, it's not going to be that bad. But I want you to understand something very, 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 very quickly, okay? A lot of people are getting sick. They think they don't have coronavirus, and they do, because the article that we posted as of last week was that is less detectable in certain tests. Because there's so many different tests, you don't know which test is the right test to get. It's kind of like a pregnancy test. You want to know if you're getting pregnant eventually. You want to know what to do. Some people take a pill. Other people do whatever they need to do in order to prepare for it. Some people need to know who's the father at the end of the day, right? People need to make sense of that, right? So they need to make sure that their test is good and very reliable. Now, they all say usually 99% effective, right, to be able to determine that. But what if I told you the latest tests, especially the rapid fire tests, are like 68%? Would you believe me? I don't know. What if I told you they're not all 100% accurate? What if I told you, even though you get a test, you get a negative, but if you took 2 or 3 tests, all of a sudden you get a positive 3 days later? Now, does that minimize the amount of time that you should technically quarantine? Technically, the answer is yes. But people aren't going to go back for 2 or 3 tests. It's unheard of. People only go back for 1 test. Now, I had a good, well, I'm going to call her, she's my goddaughter, basically. But she really, really, really was wondering about the test because her cousin was honestly showing symptoms and she wasn't, but they both got tested just to be safe. She showed positive, the other one showed negative. But then on the second test that they went back to, they literally drove back there to go, I don't understand why this is happening. On the second test, same result, but the lady finally told them, well, it might not be detectable yet in your system. So if they go back, will the second one be technically positive? The answer is most likely yes, because she's exhibiting symptoms right here, right now. So I need everyone to understand why these things are happening, because we need to be ahead of it. I know we need to get ahead of financials too, and trust me, I get it. There are people that have jobs. I say, have fun that you have a job, literally. Make sure you stay with that job and keep it moving forward, right? Make sure that you keep doing the right thing and make sure that you keep, honestly, your job 100%. Because if you don't, then what's going to happen to other industries, right? Other industries are going to start folding literally overnight, probably in the next 3 months. We're going to see so many closures and so many filing for bankruptcy. Many people aren't even going to get paid. They're going to put a bunch of work in, and then they're not going to get paid. So I say put in the work, get paid, make sure you get your payments, because everybody's going to start, honestly, holding back for monies because they're not going to admit it, but they need to pay the bills. I already know there's a couple people that owe me money, and they haven't paid me. And I'm like, what's going on? I need to pay people because they worked for us. So what am I going to do? I'm already stressing out because I need the money right here, right now. So here's what I know. If you need the ability to think for yourself right now. Because I can tell you right now, I don't trust, and I've heard this from several people say, I don't trust the CDC. I don't either. The fact that they put financials ahead of health already says what, Jesse?
That money talks, and money will allow you to do whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's a sad thing because CDC is not supposed to be that. It's the Centers for Disease Control. How do you control diseases if you want people to go back to work without quarantining for a minimum of 14 days? How does that make sense? So I need, go ahead, say what you want to say.
Yeah, it don't make too much sense. They're just flip-flopping around.
Yeah, Centers for Disease Control. You help control diseases. Not controlling diseases, you're helping spread it even worse than the flu. Even the flu, you want to be staying home, especially if you realize people do die from the flu. I was made aware of that statistic before coronavirus came out. And a person told me very simply, yeah, I get the flu shot because if I don't, I could be at risk. Do you know how many people die a year from just the regular flu? I said, I did not know that. Now I know. And the numbers are honestly staggering. That's before coronavirus was a thing. So that's why I say get your flu shot if you need to. Get the coronavirus one. Try to get them a little bit with a couple weeks, separately. And in fact, I just heard a recent report that literally proved what we said before. You want them separately because it's too much at once in your system. And then you have problems with your system. And then you kind of get weary and you get leery and all that. But usually they say 2 weeks. So do the right thing. Hope that you're ahead of it and make sure that you're ahead of it, okay? Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I need to take a quick little break. We're going to regroup in just a minute. When we do, we're going to take some of your comments next and some social media news right after this. Stay tuned.
Hey, Mark's here. We want people should know about the new Italian radio show on KMET. Like my Uncle Vinny used to say, Gumbas non stunad.
SID, there is no such words in Italian.
Forget about it. Tell them about the show.
The Italian Radio Show, presented by West Coast Italian Radio.
Mondays at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490 or stream us live 24/7 from our website at WCIR.biz.
Make sure to tune in.
You don't want that we should have to tell you twice.
The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff and spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. 951-572-5500 or go online at hiebanning.com.
The staff and families at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Join Yvette Walker every Tuesday at 4 o'clock p.m. on KMET ABC News Radio, 1490 AM, FM 98.1, and Internet KMET TV for the Southern California Business Report. The show is dedicated to highlighting successful businesses and the individuals behind them. Yvette interviews the incredible people managing these enterprises that range from awe-inspiring sole proprietors to world-renowned organizations. The Southern California Business Report, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock p.m.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
What is commitment and why is it so hard to achieve? The new book, Committed, by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will make you reevaluate the way you think about love. Committed is a relationship manual that unfolds in 2 parts: the work you need to perform on the inside and the 7 distinct archetypes you will encounter on the outside. Committed, a new book available on Amazon by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will help to find and keep the love you deserve. Committed, available now on Amazon.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We've got Jesse Sanchez over there in the control booth, just making sure everybody sounds good. And don't forget, you can always listen on all of our devices. We're on Alexa, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're also on Twitter. And we're on LinkedIn. So we appreciate you guys for joining us, and always appreciate you guys, especially you, Bobby, for sending us 50 stars. He's done so consecutively every single day for 2 weeks. He's on fire, literally. Good job, Bobby, and we appreciate you. In fact, he says, booster up, Earthlings. Hashtag live it well. And boy, is he right on that, right? Okay, Judy Munoz says, good morning, everyone. Let's see, watching from Walla Walla, Washington. Very good. Stephanie Reed says, hello, happy editing this glorious, snowy awesomeness busy day ahead for today. Judy says very windy and a lot of snow. And let's see, we've got Miss L. Brooke who's watching. Thank you for tuning in. Viviana's watching and says good morning, everyone. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Ooh, Bobby's got a lot of trophies there. He's even got a diamond thing there. So good job, Bobby. All right. In other news, though, I saw a couple articles that I'm not going to lie. I kind of was like, well, that kind of makes sense, but I don't think they're making sense fully. And the question is this, Jesse. What do you think we should do with the lavas? Should we throw certain trash in them and allow them just to be recycled through the lava? What do you think?
Wait, say that again. That throw our trash in the lava.
Yeah, like there's some things that, it's like, you know what? Let's just get rid of it. Well, people say they want to recycle, but throw it into the lava. I mean, there's a lot of volcanoes active. Why not just throw it into the lava? Let it consume it. What do you think?
Oh my God. So the little child in me is like, yes, do it. But there's a part of me saying, no, that's bad. That wouldn't the fumes just go up into the air?
There's already fumes. What fumes are you going to make go up into the air more? Like, all those things that they say are not recyclable, dump it. It's like, they basically put them underneath the ground, then they bury over it, then they build houses. So I don't know how that's better. That doesn't dispose of them. Put it in the lava. Lava is obviously very hot. Yay, goodbye. Right? Doesn't that make sense or no? I guess it doesn't make sense to some.
Well, I don't know. In my weird, God, I wish I knew more science. And I'm like, in my head, I'm the person that thinks I can swim through gold coins like Scrooge McDuck. So, I want to say it doesn't work like the way I were thinking.
I think it does for certain things, not all things. Plastics, goodbye, right? Goodbye. Now, I get it. People think, the fumes are going to be up. But, man, it melts it like that. And then, goodbye. I mean, it's basically ground for the earth, right? That's where ground comes from. It comes from the inner side of the earth, known as molten lava. Once it gets over, it creates the land on the surface. It creates more land, and there you go, right? Does that make sense? That's how islands are formed, right?
Okay, yes, that's how, I guess, islands are formed.
Yeah, so put all your plastics in there. Goodbye. What?
If it was that easy, couldn't we just burn all of our trash then in giant incinerators?
Technically, yes. So why don't we?
I don't know. Good question.
So there you go. Anyway, it's just a thought. I just saw this news article. It says why we can't throw all our trash, but they're talking about like metals that you can't do. Like you can't recycle steel that way. Technically, it will maybe melt, and if it melts at a certain level, it'll become part of the earth. But then it kind of becomes recycled like that. Nobody wants to do that with steel. They just want to do it their way. But I think it's actually not a bad idea. It's kind of like, goodbye, right? I mean, it's safe and sound. I mean, a volcano's going to create destruction anyway. Just dump it over and, yay, drop it. What?
Oh, my God.
It wasn't my article. It was somebody's article. I think it's an A for effort. That's what I think. And I think certain plastics just need to go in there and goodbye.
Okay. I guess it's better than let's load up a rocket and shoot it into the sun. Okay,
there you go. You don't want to shoot a rocket into the sun, trust me. But yeah, I mean that's basically what they're doing, right? They've done that. They shot like a rocket into the volcano to try to implode it. It didn't work. It got worse. So there you go. Look, there's been worse ideas. I just thought it was an interesting article. If you come across it, maybe it's worth thinking about. Snow. I know you guys are talking about snow. Oh my God, messy. 1,800 flights canceled as of today. It's not easy. I have a friend actually here from Canada who actually wants to go back early. She was on the phone. I kid you not. How long do you think it takes a person to get on the phone and say, hey, I want to change my flight to earlier? How long do you think would be a reasonable time? 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour?
Seeing how we're in this situation right now, I'm assuming it'll be at least an hour.
4.5 hours. Kid you not. I needed to talk to her because my uncle had an idea for a script. She's a script writer. And I literally called her, and she says, don't be offended. Technically, I can't answer right now because I'm on the phone with the airlines. Yep. Later on Instagram, she posted that she had been on there for 4.5 hours. I asked if I could help her. She goes, unless you know anybody at Delta, don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, sorry, I can't help you. But so I wonder, do we know anybody at Delta? Does anybody know anybody at Delta? Seriously, because people are stuck. She wants to go back to her mom, wants to be safe there. is probably done with California. I think she was here for a week, and I think she wants to go back. So if you guys know somebody there, people are getting upset. Trust me, she had a bad couple of days already. She already was feeling not good. Now she has this. Trust me, it is not fun for passengers. So when I read this, I now understand why this is really bad. And here it is. Airlines canceled more than 2,700 Sunday flights across the country and into and out of the United States, according to Flight Tracker FlightAware. That's on top of more than 2,700 Saturday flight cancellations, bringing the total since Christmas Eve to more than 15,000 canceled flights. No wonder she was on the phone for 4.5 hours. That makes sense, huh? Everybody's like, what the heck? I need to get home. I got to go back to work. Does that make sense?
I can't even imagine being on the phone for 4 hours. I would have gone crazy.
I'm surprised she didn't. I'd be like, all right, the phone's going to be... And then the worst thing is, I think they hung up on her once. So don't you hate that when you're like, you are in queue for an hour and a half. Stay happy, like I'd be like, So anyway, that's a real thing. The travel trouble is continuing Monday, which is today, amid an East Coast storm. So that on top of the other reasons, with more than 1,800 U.S. flights canceled as of this morning at 7 a.m. Trust me, there's so many people going to be upset wanting to get where they got to go. Southwest Airlines has canceled more than 400 Monday flights. Yep. Or 12% of its scheduled flights. JetBlue, 136 flights, 13% of its flights. The weekend travel mess is basically because of wintry weather. You guys understand that because it is cold where you're at, including Chicago and Denver, and at some airlines continuing flight crew shortages due to a surge in COVID sick calls as spreads. Yeah, I'm spreading more than people understand. When it impacts the travel industry, trust me, you're going to hate your life if you got to get somewhere. More than 600 of Sunday's flight cancellations were flights to and from Chicago, and more than 300 were flights to and from Denver. The airlines with the most Sunday cancellations were SkyWest Airlines, which operates regional flights for United, Delta, American, and Alaska under those airlines' names. Boy, did they get a lot. Southwest Airlines with a lot. Delta Airlines, JetBlue Airways, and the list keeps going on and on and on. So everybody's kind of jumping on that bandwagon. So people are going, what do I do? My flight was canceled. Honestly, get ready to be on the phone for 4.5 hours. That's what I could tell you 100%. Okay. I don't even know if it's longer than that. I cannot imagine the people that are trying to take these calls, but I got to imagine they got like security for their jobs 100%, right? Because shoot, I would be like, you know what? Can I do the phone operator at home? Can you hook me up with that? I'll do that for 8 hours straight and get paid really good, right? Doesn't that make sense, Jesse?
Actually, that does sound a good idea. What, do they have like a giant call center or something for that
Well,
place?
it's easy to reroute nowadays with phones. Just use a hardwire for that, and then let people kind of work from home, and then everybody's safe. That makes more sense to me, doesn't it to you?
Oh, most definitely. Definitely.
I technically think, and this is a business idea for whoever wants it, okay? I used to staff, because I used to work for a staffing firm way back in the day, and I used to help businesses staff their employees. That's why I love finding out what somebody's good at, and then helping them with what they need to do eventually, because I have like 100% closing ratio with helping them get the job, helping them keep the job, and helping them with the job. But in that moment, I actually got to discover certain call centers that hire based on a certain criteria. And I technically thought it was a little slow, but they did a lot of bill collecting. Bill collectors honestly have a job for years to come. But it's stressful as all get out. And you're like, I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. But you just got to keep doing the calls, and you just got to keep making calls, have people hung up on you, have people hang up on you, and hopefully be sympathetic. Then somebody will want to listen to you, and then you can help somebody out try to pay the bills. But I think it would be a really good idea. This is a great business idea for anybody who has the money. Have a ability to have callers reroute to people that want to work at home safely. Have them do it so that the kids aren't around, so they don't get interrupted. Have them have the software that they need to plug in through the internet, and then they could do it all from home. It's not that hard. You don't need to supervise anybody through a in person, and then everybody's safe, and you have callers helping each other out throughout, well, whatever you need to get through, because trust me, everybody's going to start shopping online. Everybody's going to say, what the heck? And there's areas that I know I've called, and they act like they don't have anybody on staff, but I think technically they don't have anybody on staff because they're minimizing. But you can offset your costs by letting them work at home, right? How hard is that? Just pay for their telephone line, pay for the software to be in their computer. I mean, who doesn't have a computer, right? And then just make sure they clock in. They could clock in. You get to supervise that. You know that based on call volume and call data and all that. I used to work with Wells Fargo. Trust me, I know call time and all that. They usually wanted you to be the shortest person on the phone. That way you get people off and then some. I had the longest time because I was helping everybody, but I got good letters of recommendation saying, thank you for helping me out where nobody else would. And that's what I think is customer service. But I think that's what we're lacking right now. That's why I think technically people are more upset than not. So if you have somebody that helps you on the phone, be courteous, because trust me, they are wanting to help you, okay? Unless, of course, they're short. Then but still, you got to still be courteous because you need them to help you out, right? Does that make sense or not really?
I don't know. I mean, if I'm getting paid to do customer service, that's what I'm getting paid to do. But, like, there are times where, like, if I were to work at, like, a McDonald's or something, it's either, I don't know, I always feel like those people don't get paid enough because they have to deal with the crazy people. It's easy to do all the other stuff, but just dealing with the public in general, you should get paid more.
You know, it's funny that you say that. I agree with that, although I'm the one who was attacked at McDonald's. Trust me, customer service is severely waning. You would think they'd want to write it down right away. Nope, I had to basically make the person be able to say, oh, I'll call the supervisor and see what he says. And I'm like, it's protocol to take a report when you get beat down, literally. But no, so
yeah, we're not. They don't get paid for that, so it's just like, why should I care?
Yeah, but technically you have to do an accident report. If anybody falls at a location like McDonald's, you have to let them take an accident report, because if it gets worse, you want to know what you need to do, because sometimes there's not safety protocols implemented. Like if you fall and there's no caution, we just mop there. That's technically goes against the place of business. So that's why they have insurance. There you go. Anyway, all right, I'm going to take a quick little break. I appreciate all of you. Keep the comments coming. Yep, people are commenting over the weekend. Who knew? Betty White. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a hoax. I seriously thought it was. I was like, no, I'm not going to fall for this one. How many different times did we have it to where it was just a hoax? Seriously.
I know of at least once that it was, and they're like, no, she's fine. Oh my God.
I think it happened 3 times that I remember of, so I was like, no, not on the last day. That makes no sense. Yep, confirmed. We'll talk about that next here on The Morning Show. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
The Fat Greek in Yucaipa, where you can get authentic, delicious, true Greek food. Authentic gyros, Greek salads, pitas, falafel, hamburgers, burritos, and oh yes, baklava. The Fat Greek has a large selection of wines, ice-cold domestic, and imported Greek beers. Come on down to the Fat Greek located on Yucaipa Boulevard in the city of Yucaipa. Open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The Fat Greek has delivery, drive-through, sit-down, and a catering service. So bring in a family or give Nicholas and Christopher a call at 909-797-6018. Eat Greek, live long. Remember, if you want authentic Greek food, it's the Fat Greek in Yucaipa.
Hello, I'm Dr. Fuzhan Zain. I'm a psychotherapist and a life coach for the past 30 years, and I'm the originator of the Awareness Integration Therapy. I'd love to be able to support you in any matters of life that shows up for you that you need support. So call me at 818-648-2140. I am available to do online therapy or coaching, anyone who's around the world. And you can also join me in my office in San Clemente, California, if you like to come to the office. So call me at 818-648-2140 or go to fujon.com. I look forward to hearing from you and having the opportunity to support you in things that are in your life, and you just want to excel and create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And Jesse, I know you heard of the news with Betty White. What was your first thought, literally?
Honestly, I didn't believe it at first, but until I started getting texts from like Sean, and then my mom called me, and I was just like, she was like, "Did you hear what happened?" I'm like, "Yes, I heard," and I don't know. It's just I didn't quite believe it at first because you know what? There was a part of me that always thought that she would live forever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I've seen her in so many movies. I love her in Golden Girls. I love her in with Proposal with Sandra Bullock. I think she really started her stuff in that, and then there's so many other movies that I'm not gonna lie, I never actually got caught up on, but I always knew she had a smart mind when she produced her show, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was for senior citizens, right? Senior citizens kind of doing bad things. It was a very interesting show, and I go, okay, if she could produce that with other people, I guarantee you she's gonna be doing really cool stuff in the future. And some people didn't watch that, but those that did, I think, really thought it was funny because she was kind of more crass and more kind of mean, and that's so not her. In film, she's so nice, but she's a funny girl. And I will say, you really can't appreciate it in Golden Girls. In Golden Girls, she's 100% that woman, and she's funny. You think she's kind of not really there with it, but she's hilarious. I don't even know how many different little things that she would say other than what they would write for her, that she just kind of did it on the fly. And I know there's going to be a lot more comments about that because I think there's a documentary coming very soon, and it was meant to be while she was alive, but they're going to release it anyway and just in time as well. So bittersweet it is for a lot of people, but at the same time, it's one of those things where you're like, you know what? I'm glad you lived the life you did, because I'm pretty sure at the end of it all, I'm pretty sure she was happy with what she did. Don't you think?
You know what? I hope she was happy with what she did. I mean, I was telling my fiance, I wish she could have seen, I could not have imagined the sheer number of people that came out and just started talking about her, Golden Girls, and just her comedy in general, and just from people of various ages and regions, cultures, and all that stuff. So there was what was it? I was watching on TikTok, and it was for New Year's Eve, and they had a giant party, pictures of Betty White flashing, and I'm just like, wow. And it was like a giant club, it looked like they were raving, and they're all celebrating to Betty White. So I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I think she made a lot of people laugh in person. I think there's going to be a lot more stories. I think a lot of people, I saw my Facebook kind of light up, and certain people that actually were able to interact with her and take a picture with her. Obviously, she was very fun in front of the camera and okay taking, fun pictures, some crash pictures too. There's a couple pictures floating around of her giving the middle finger. She always did kind of the things that you didn't think older ladies would do. And I'm not going to lie, I honestly thought she was in her maybe 80s. I didn't know she was 99 going on her. I just did not know that. Okay, I didn't know that. And I think she did it well all the way through. Now, I am going to say this, and I'm glad she went in this way, because they say Betty White died peacefully in her sleep at her home when she did. Okay? So, if anything, I think that's the way I would want to go. I would not want to go in a way that I'm like, ouch. You know what I mean? If it's a heart attack or something else, I'd want to lay down. I want to go to sleep. And I just would want to do that. I would be okay with that. I always wish that for people that honestly die, because you always don't know what happens right up until then. So I honestly think the fact that it happened literally on the last day of 2021 is not cool for all of us, because it's kind of like, are you kidding me? Right? I'm not going to lie. I had to get ready for the Rose Parade, and I saw this, and I literally was like, wow. Wow. We lost a lot of people during 2021, but Betty White? Anyway, I'll say this. I guarantee you Sandra Bullock is 100% sad. And so many stars that worked with her, right? And the reality is, general public have known her a lot whenever they come across her, because I think she's always been that one to say, yeah, let me talk to you. You know, she's met so many people. We don't even know the stories until we see the stories in social media, right? And then you go, wow, I didn't know you knew that person, right? Sometimes people hold on to pictures. That's why I say, you know, if they're nice and they're kind and they let you take a picture, take a picture. You never know when they're not going to be here anymore, right? There'll be a time where you go, you know what? I'm glad I knew that person, right? I'm not going to lie. I wish I had met her in person. I guarantee you I would have been having fun with that. So according to this, the agent of her confirmed that she died on Friday at age 99, 2.5 weeks before what would have been her centennial birthday. His statement was this in the statement: even though Betty was about to be 100, I thought she would live forever. I will miss her terribly, and so will the animal world that she loved so much. I don't think Betty ever feared passing, because she always wanted to be with her most beloved husband, Alan Ludden. She believed she would be with him again. White was gearing up to celebrate her 100th birthday on January 17th, ahead of the day. In a cover story, White opened up to People magazine about how she was feeling about turning 100 years old. So here's what she said. I'm so lucky to be in such good health and feel so good at this age. It's amazing. According to White, being born a cockeyed optimist was a key to her upbeat nature. She says, I got it from my mom, and that never changed. I always find the positive. That's good to remember, because in a day like today and all the things that we have going at us, it's hard to stay positive, right? Now, of course, she cracked a joke about the secret to her long life. She said, I try to avoid anything green. I think it's working. So there you go. People editor-in-chief Dan Wakeford said, we were deeply saddened by the news of Betty White's passing. We're honored that she recently chose to work with people to celebrate her extraordinary life and career. So there is a People magazine with her on the front, because they already planned that, because they knew she was going to turn 100. So they have a huge story of her turning 100. But there you go. Following the news of her death, some stars did share the tributes. Ryan Reynolds, who stars in the movie, of course, Proposal, said this: the world looks different now. She was great at defying expectation. She managed to grow very old, and somehow not old enough. We'll miss you, Betty. White's Hot in Cleveland co-star Valerie Bertinelli shared her condolences on social media, said, rest in peace, sweet Betty. My God, how bright heaven must be right now. Boy, I can imagine that for sure, right? As the world prepared to ring in a new year, Andy Cohen wrote this: tonight we will raise many glasses to the wonderful legacy of Betty White. And I know you have some comments there. Are there any that you have the ability to share right now, or are they not in front of you?
Oh, comments about Betty White?
Yeah.
Not in front of me, but you know what? It just goes to show that, you know what? A lot of people, like her fans and stuff, they might have not have known her personally, but to us and everyone else, it felt like we did know her.
Yeah.
So when she passed, it was just like, it was like, what?
Yeah.
It was hurtful.
Yeah. Well, Betty was beloved by all, including her crush. And this one I didn't know. I don't know if Betty knew this too, but Robert Redford. All right. And anybody that knows Robert Redford knows he's a class act, right? But following the information on that, he said in a statement to E! News, Betty lived life devoted to her craft, her love of animals. She made us all laugh, including me. He then added, I had a crush on her too. The Golden Girls star expressed admiration for the Hollywood star in a December 28th interview with People, saying, I've heard Ryan Reynolds can't get over his thing for me, but Robert Redford is the one. So Betty, Robert didn't reply at the time, but Betty's the proposal co-star did, joking on Twitter. He said, I'm absolutely sick of the media exploiting past relationships just to drive clicks. Of course, Betty and Robert have a history, kind of. Back when Betty played Sue Ann on the Mary Tyler Moore show, she made reference to the star of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and in the episode Chuckles Bites the Dust. Like most women of the era, Sue Ann had the hots for the actor and had joked in the episode, I want to be cremated and have my ashes thrown on Robert Redford.
Thrown on Robert Redford.
You know what? She had a wish list, okay? You can't fault the lady, right? And you know what? You know what? People know what she looks like in older years, but I always want people to imagine the obvious when people are young, right? And she is a looker. I'm not gonna lie. I would look her way 100%. And here's why. Obviously, sometimes people don't understand the way people age. But when you see the brightness in her face as a youth, I'm not sure how old she was here, probably about 28 or so. She is just beaming with hope, just knowing what she's going to do one day. And she did it so well. Very few people have that type of career all the way to like 99, right? But she had a career all the way through. And she was always good about it. She was always very professional. She was always like on it. She was able to do comedy really quick, and very few actors can do comedy really quick. She's been on Saturday Night Live. She's been a host for that. She's done so many things. Honestly, she lived her life in full. I believe not only did she live her life in full, I believe she had fun the entire way that she went. Now, I hate that she had to go during coronavirus. I don't know what her last months were like with coronavirus. All I could say is I hope that she didn't let it get to her in the end. And I hope that, again, everybody continues to have good thoughts about her, because sometimes you always see little exposés and things that people start kind of saying things and you go, oh, you were a friend? Yeah, right. You know what I mean? But I think if anyone has anything to say, I think it's always this. She is 100% a class act, right? You can't live that long and not be a class act along the way. So I think she's a great lady. I'm glad that, she lived her life in full, and I'm really glad she went peacefully in her sleep. I'm glad that happened. I 100% want her to be alive, in all our hearts, because I believe that's how she's going to stay. So if you haven't seen Golden Girls, go check it out. It's actually more funny than you'll ever think, because the funniness in it, you don't think you're going to like it, but you give it like a half hour, like I did one time all of a sudden. I sat there and I kind of watched it, and I found myself laughing. And then I understood, elderly people get it going on. They still think boyfriends and boyfriends and boyfriends and boyfriends. And honestly, that's kind of what that show's about in the middle. And I think it's funny because it's like, hello, your elderly father or mother. Yeah, they think about, old loves, new loves, and then people come around, and there you go. People don't think like that, but they need to, right? Especially if you're single, right? Ready to mingle. Anyway, I think it's hilarious, but I think we all need to stay safe. And there you go. Betty White, thank you for giving us your love. Thank you for giving us everything that you possibly could give, literally all of yourself and then some. And thank you for letting us laugh with you. I know Sandra Bullock's going to miss you 100% and so many other people's lives that you've touched. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Do you want to say anything, Jesse?
No. You know what? It was just I've watched Betty White for quite a bit of my life because my mom always loved Golden Girls. So I've had to watch the episodes. I've grown to like them, and just like her whenever she talks off camera, even though it's not off camera, it's just when she's just being herself is when she's the best.
Yeah, I think you're right. Comments still keep coming in on social media. Keep them coming in. We got to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more information right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. Current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Attention homeowners, spending more time around your house means you're putting more stress on major appliances that keep your home running. Like many Americans, a major breakdown could be very costly during these uncertain times. AC unit goes, that's $4,500. Water heater breaks, $1,500. When you own a home, it's always something. If you have a home warranty, those repairs could cost you nothing. A Home Service Club warranty pays for the repair or replacement of your home appliances and systems when they break down, even from normal wear and tear. For about $1 a day, you can cover your home appliances and systems. It's not a question of if they'll break down, it's when. If you call now, you'll get your first month free and $75 off your first year. Make home appliance repairs one less thing to worry about. Call 800-274-4679 now for your free quote, free first month, and $75 off your first year. 800-274-4679 now. That's 800-274-4679. Again, 800-274-4679.
Ruth didn't know she was leaving for good. She knew he would kill her. Could she save herself? Did she feel she was worth saving? How could she best protect her children? To love, honor, and betray, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her true tale. From submissive to survivor, then thriver. Now living a proud, purposeful life. As an optimistic, inspiring, peaceful warrior. Can a person heal from feeling the guilt of a decision altering many lives? Weighted by living grief, moving through lessons learned, self-discovery, and land in self-love? Can someone who's been abused in every way move to self-trust, confidence, and arrive at living in peace? To love, honor, and betray, a sincere, honest letter. To herself and her adult children, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her story so that others may also find the inspiring, peaceful warrior within. Amazon worldwide, Barnes & Noble, RuthTunnicliffe.com.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, and we appreciate each and every one of your comments. Big shout out to those tuning in. Algenia and Kirsten says, I thought Aunt Betty was going to live at least 112 potential. Reminds me of my granny. I'm laughing like a mule right now, thinking about Golden Girls. And there you go. Stephanie Reed says, she was like the Emily Gilmore class. I love the show she did in Cleveland of Hot in Cleveland. Did not know that was a thing. There you go. Let's see. She says she also guest starred on the last season of Bones. Ooh, you know what? I forgot about that. I used to actually watch the show. It's a really good show. And there you go. So, yeah, a lot of you, of course, appreciating not only her, but appreciate all the things that she's done. And I appreciate you all for appreciating her, because I guarantee you, if I had met her, boy, the things I would have said to her to have fun. Now, having said that, on to other news, and this is interesting. I'm looking at this story right here, right now. According to the Associated Press, and this is a statement that they're having. I know sometimes you guys think, oh, I'm just kind of skewing certain facts or figures. I'm not. This is the latest in a heading, and it is, how will the pandemic end? Clouds forecast for endgame, meaning we don't know how it's going to end. The reality is there's more viruses, there's more variants, and there's other ones, not just that are still around us. All right, we've got Delta, we've got Delta Plus, we've got Lambda, we've got Mu, we've got other ones technically forming as we speak. We just don't know what country they're coming from, and because we travel all around the world, it's kind of easy for it to get here. How long did it take for to get here from South Africa, which was the originator? Do you know, Jesse?
No, I'm not quite sure.
I would say technically about a month and a half. From the moment that they started talking about it to the moment it came here on the shores, East Coast first, and then made its way over here to California. That's about the average time for most viruses to spread from one location as of late. Delta took about 3 to 4 weeks from where it originated. But that's, it's just the way of the world. We all travel. So that's how viruses spread, just like the flu, just like the cold. That technically is around the world too. But rarely do we get hospitalized for it. So according to this article, very importantly, these are the type of things that now scientists are starting to share with us. And I need to bring this up just for those that honestly sometimes say, yeah, you're just not on board with, hey, we got vaccinations. They said it won't be like flipping a light switch. The world will have to learn to coexist with a virus that's just not going away. The ultra-contagious, they're calling it ultra-contagious, and there's a reason for that, okay? Spreads very fast, very quick, and it gets through to a bunch of people depending if you keep going out. Now, if you get well from it, yay. If you don't get well from it, oh no. But if you give it to somebody else that might have a potential to die from it, who's going to be responsible in the end? I would say is responsible in the end. But we need to start spreading good information rather than dumb information. There's a lot of people spreading some really bad information like, oh, the vaccine's going to work. Now, according to this article, it says vaccines offer strong protection from serious illness, but even if they don't always prevent a mild infection, it doesn't appear to be as deadly as some earlier variants, and those who survive it will have some refreshed protection against other forms of the virus that still are circulating, and maybe the next mutant to emerge. See, they already talk about it as though it's a mutant, but you know what I mean. Mutant virus, right? And Jesse, we've talked about that at length. What is a mutant virus, Jesse?
Any of those variants that have been flopping around?
Yeah. They form and they make new cells emerge. And then they create problems for other people, and then other people create other problems for other people just by spreading it back and forth to animals and then spreading it back to the people. That's why this thing, seriously, New Zealand is ahead of it. Because New Zealand did the hard thing. They put everybody on lockdown. Why is California not doing that? When we did that before, the answer, they need money. That's at the end of the day the only answer. But in order to spend money and make money, you need to be safe. You need to stay alive. So put that in the forefront of what you do. If you feel sick, get tested early, stay home, keep your family safe, isolate away from them, do that, and then you'll be ahead of it, okay? All right, I'm out of time, folks, but thank you for always being good with us. Thank you for spreading some good information to each other, and trust me, it helps. Keep spreading good information, not bad information. Bye-bye, everybody. And Algina Kirsten says this: 3 months, Africa. Yeah, it was about anywhere from a month and a half to about that time. But these are the averages now that we have to understand with variants. Variants are basically a form of the virus compounded by other viruses and then create a new virus that technically certain things are resistant to. Now, I understand if you got a vaccine, it will help your body against Delta, but nobody talks about Delta Plus. Delta Plus is still out there. That's why I really do say doctors really need to notify you of which variant you have, because if you have Alpha or Beta, that one is the one of technically the kind that technically the first version of shots were really good and resistant against. So if you get a version of that, because that's still circulating technically, you'll be ahead of it, all right? Now, I know certain studies are being done all around the world, but I look at the World Health Organization. I don't look at the CDC anymore. And I tell my mom to look at the World Health Organization because the World Health Organization has more of the information than the CDC do. And the reason that I honestly feel that's the best way to go is honestly because coronavirus has a problem right now, and it is misinformation, okay? We had a coronavirus misinformation as of, honestly, it was last year. We all remember that. A lot of people were like, no, it doesn't exist. But if Trump takes a vaccine now and he admits it openly and publicly, I'm pretty sure even his supporters will say, fine, I'll get vaccinated, right? Now, I'm not saying the vaccination is the end-all be-all, all right? You need to know this, okay? It's good for 6 months. Nobody needs to think, oh, it's good for a year and a half or a year to a year and a half. It doesn't work that way. It's good for 6 months. So everybody needs another shot. Now, if you get the flu shot, you get it usually once a year. But even then, that's only good for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Sorry, I have a blower outside. There you go. Anyway, I need to share this with you because some of you have wrong information. And I need you to know why this is good information for you long term. If you focus on the reality that you need to be safe, then you focus on staying safe when you're sick. Now, if you're alone, make sure people know you're sick. That way they can check in on you. And they can say, hey, Do you need to go to the hospital? I can even take you, right? I would say be safe with that, but know that it does happen. Now, I will say some have woken up the very next day and then been confused. They don't even know what day it is, and they don't go to the hospital, and they die right there. Now, I will say I've had this happen earlier in 2021 with a very close friend, and thank God she was with her family, but they said she was all confused. She went into the hospital. She got intubated immediately. She died 6 weeks later, I think. 4 to 6 weeks. Couldn't save her. Her sister, also in a hospital, but completely different hospital. Literally. Now, her sister got, well, eventually, but she was in for like, I think, a long time. So then the grandmother got sick. Or her mom, I should say. Her mom got sick. But she was in and out really quick. Granted, I think she already had technically a vaccination. But she had to repair herself slowly and surely. The brother got it as well. He literally thought he was going to die. He called up, honestly, an old flame of his and said, you know what, I'm going to die. I'm so sorry for all the things that ever happened between us. But if I die, this is my last, breath. And I just want you to know I've always loved you. They ended up repairing it. And they ended up, hopefully repairing it for, the future. But my point is this. Don't let it get there. Don't let it get there where you go, I have regrets now. Don't let it get there. All right? Because thankfully he survived. And trust me, he was like a newfound man after that, okay? And he told me, he says, I was sweating so profusely. I had the chills I have never felt before. I literally thought I was going to die. And this guy is not one of those guys. He's like a big guy, actually. And he's actually very tough. But, boy, he was very, very just like, I'm going to die. This is how I die. And he didn't die. That's the good news. But that family still experienced a death in the family with just one lady. She died young, okay? She died young. I think about 48 she was. But the rest of the family still have to suffer. Because now they have coronavirus again. Yeah. So, just because you get through it the first time doesn't mean you might not get through it again. Does that make sense? So I need you all to understand that there are things that are going to happen. Be ahead of it, okay? If you send somebody sick, just try to steer clear of them. Stay away from them if you can. But if they need a doctor, if they need a hospital, be willing to at least say, hey, I'm going to wear a face mask. I'm going to glove up. Let's get you to the authorities. Let's get you tested for, a coronavirus because you're having trouble breathing or you're having trouble not making sense, because that's been happening, by the way. If people don't make sense, they don't have enough oxygen to the brain, okay? Because it affects the lungs still. And if they don't have enough oxygen to the brain, they may not make sense. And if they don't make sense, you need to make sure to get them to the hospital. They'll make sure they go to the ER immediately. So, but don't be hands off. Some of the doctors are doing some weird stuff out there, okay? In the next couple of days, I'm pretty sure we'll have more information on how to treat some things. I'm going to actually ask a very good friend to hopefully get some good advice over here for us. But I need you to understand we need to be ahead of it, okay? There's good information out there. There's bad information out there. Coronavirus is not created equally, and you need to understand that. That's why you need to know the variant that you're honestly fighting, okay? If doctors knew and nurses knew and those that test knew which variant you have, they know how to treat it differently. Every single one is different, okay? So know that, be ahead of it, and there you go. According to this, the World Health Organization will determine when enough countries have tamped down their COVID cases sufficiently, or at least hospitalizations and deaths, to declare the pandemic officially over. But what the threshold will be just isn't clear. We're not there yet, and it's not happening. I know people want it to happen. I know positivity works, but so do viruses, okay? Viruses work around the clock to not be beaten. That's why we have to be ahead of it and say, let's just not get sick, okay? Let it stamp itself out, literally. And if you do that, well, then, of course, you'll be ahead of it. But will government do that? No. They want us to get back to work because they need us to pay the bills. And if we need to pay the bills, are we going to die in the middle of it to pay the bills? I say you shouldn't. But if you have a job, keep it, because you don't know where the next one's going to come. Because I guarantee you a lot of industries in the next 3 months are going to start folding down. If you have a job, hold on to it. Don't let it go. Say, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for letting me keep it. And thank you. I need to do everything I need to do to keep my money coming in, because I need to pay the bills eventually. Okay? Do that. We'll be ahead of it. Okay? Don't do that, and trust me, you're going to be like, are you hiring? Are you hiring? Are you hiring? Within, honestly, a few months. All right? So keep your jobs if you have them. Hope that they stay alive. Hope that they can keep paying the bills, and hope that they don't get, honestly, told to leave. Because if some of you all of a sudden, we can't pay you anymore, it's because they have to pay the rent. Because that's up. So there you go. I don't know if government's going to do anything. I don't know if they're going to do anything. I think they need to do something. I don't think they're doing anything as of yet. Newsom, you really need to get your... Just do the right thing, Newsom. All right. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Make it a great day. Whatever you do, remember, life is worth living. Just, find the fun in the middle. Betty White did. I think we all can, right? There you go. Make it a great one. Bye-bye, everyone.